Hello everyone, welcome to Derana BIZ 24. JAT Holdings is a fast-growing, diversified conglomerate with a strong presence and demonstrated innovation in the furnishing and finishing industries in Sri Lanka. And on 20th July 2021, following the widely sought initial public offering, JAT Holdings experienced massive interest and market demand, resulting in an oversubscription of ordinary shares. Now, this is definitely something to talk about. To talk about this today, we have the founder and managing director of JAT Holdings with us. A very big hello to Mr. Ilian Gunawardana.
Hi, Ashi.
It's our pleasure to have you today.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And first of all, I would love to congratulate you on this oversubscription. Congratulations on the achievement.
Yeah, it was such a great achievement, particularly in a time where, with COVID and all that being around.
Definitely.
We are overwhelmed by the interest that was shown. The fact that we could have announced that we were oversubscribed in the first hour of the issue being open.
JAT Holdings definitely made headlines ever since. Now, to begin the conversation with, Ilian, I would love to ask you the question. Let's go into the humble beginnings, like you being the managing director and the founder of the company. How did you found everything, and how, from its inception, how was the journey?
Yeah, very interesting story. In 1993, I was 26 years old. I was the marketing manager of a paint company at that time when we actually went up to the board and presented the fact that the furniture industry requires a much better wood coating than the manufacturers could supply at that time. So Sri Lanka didn't have the kind of technology that we could provide the industry that could take the industry from where they were to the kind of levels that they should be. So I did some research and I made some presentations to my board and told them that maybe this and this and this product is what we should be looking at. There are international manufacturers who can bring it in, and then with that we might be able to gain bigger market share. They liked the idea, but they kept debating it for too long. When some of my principals I was talking to was saying, Ilian, at the end of the day, it'll be you who markets it. So if you are willing to sell it, if you trust and believe in yourself and the product, why don't you do it yourself? But 26 years old, was married, 2 kids already. It was a hell of a risk to take. And then to think that you have to find the funds to start a business of your own was another challenge, because it was not like I had the background from a family perspective to fund the project.
Okay.
So these guys said, you seem like a good enough guy, you seem like you'll be a success. So why don't we fund you with the first 2 containers that you would want to take on? And are you willing to then take the challenge and go ahead? And I said, of course. One thing I had was immense confidence in myself and the ability and the knowledge I had of the market, and the fact that a new product like this could really be what the market requires. So in 1993, in July or so, actually it was this month, that we decided to send our first shipments out, and I resigned from the company, started JAT with just myself and 2 others, and the rest is history. Actually, we've grown from that to 400 employees today. Being in different parts of the market in the subcontinent and some of the African markets, not only supplying the best wood coatings to the market, but several other products. So it's been a great run. And something that I'm still as passionate today as I was in 1993 when we started.
It definitely is a success story to be shared. Now, throughout this journey, you've been covering so many milestones, and when it comes to this milestone of being oversubscribed, that's a huge achievement. Now, as you are the managing director and founder of the company, what have been the keys to success enabling you to come to this position today?
Yeah, so one thing we did was in 2014, we had our first private placement. We ran the company extremely well. We grew year on year very fast. In the year 2000, so in 1993 we launched, 1994 we launched 2-pack PU lacquers. That was a huge advance from the technology that the Sri Lankans were using. Year 2000 we launched water-based coatings to the market, which is something that the whole world had not heard of till then. So it was only Italy and Sri Lanka that was selling these coatings. Today, next to Italy, we're the biggest water-based coating market for wood.
Wow.
I mean, Sri Lanka is such a tiny country. Imagine that. Not even in India, not even in Russia, with such a big furniture industry, sells as much as water-based coatings as we sell in Sri Lanka, because we've trained about 30,000 painters in the market to take our product and then to learn how to use it, the correct process, and then to sort of believe in the product. Then in the year 2014, we thought we are in the right place to bring some private investors in. So I gave up 10% of the company and bought 4 or 5 top investors. I mean, one of them being Dr. Siva Sellaya, who is still our chairman. He has 5% of the company, and then a few other smaller investors who really, since then, he brought in a lot of corporate governance to the company. So since 2014, we ran the company like a public quoted company. So we started having official board meetings. We started putting out annual returns of the company. Being a private company, we had our annual returns published. We changed our auditors to Ernst & Young. We had our audit committees, remuneration committees, related party committees, and so on. The investment committees. So since 2014, even if I wanted to start something, unless the whole organization believed in it and the investment committee believed in it, we wouldn't go ahead with it. So we ran it like that. And in 2016, we put out another 10% and brought in 2 other investors. One of them was is Falcon Trading, which is the Akbar brothers, their investment arm, and one was the Emerald Fund, which was a combination of the IFC, the World Bank, the Dutch fund, the German fund, a company called Zephyr from the US, and then we had NDB as the local partner. So they had a fund, and they came in at about 5.6%. With that, we had given out about 20% of the company, and then the corporate governance and the management became even more rigid, because we had IFC also as a shareholder. So we were, and one of the aspects of actually, or the promises we had given at that time, was to have a certain growth for the company and to list in 4 years. Of course, last year, the economy was not that great, but since this new government came into play, the stock market has been doing well, even though we were hit with COVID and whatever. We felt it's still the right time to list, and we had to live up to our promises, and that's why we listed. So the fact that we were anywhere ready to list, we could have listed 3 years ago. I think for investment bankers, this might have been the easiest listing they did, because we were so ready. I
would like to interrupt you there a bit, sorry. Can we share now, fast forwarding those successful years, when you come into listing this year, what are the key highlights of this initial public offering?
So the main thing was we have to be public, we have to have 20% in the market. We already had something like 3.5% of some of the smaller investors who had that, which constituted a public float. So the balance was about 16%, out of which, like I said, the Emerald Fund of 5.6% had to exit, which was their mandate to exit in 4, which they did in 5. So the balance was to give out another 11% of the company. And to do that, the valuation at post listing came up to 13.5 billion. So we collected something like 2.4 billion in listing the company by issuing this 16 odd % to the market. So that was the total value of the IPO. And as you said at the introduction, within a few minutes of the initial day, we were oversubscribed. By a significant amount.
That's a great news that we are here to share with everyone who is watching this program. I would love to understand the thinking process behind you in listing the company, but soon after this short break. Welcome back after the short break. Today we are in conversation with the founder and managing director of JAT Holdings, Mr. Ilian Gunawardhan. Now, to continue the conversation, I would love to understand the thinking behind listing the company. So what was your objective behind listing the company?
Okay, so one of the objectives, of course, was to live to our promises with the Emerald Fund, who had to exit, obviously, like the promises we gave them. But this was mainly done to unlock the potential of the company. JAT is a cash positive company, and we didn't necessarily need the money from out. We had a positive cash balance, but we had a few plans for the future. And what we wanted to do was to list in Sri Lanka and be the first paint company to list in the stock market, and thereby, allowing our customers, like our dealers, our own employees, our other stakeholders from distributors to become shareholders of the company, to give them that opportunity. Then also with the ultimate goal of listing in Bangladesh. And that is our final goal, because in Sri Lanka you're looking at a multiple of about 10 to 15 times usually when you value a company of your last year's profit. In Bangladesh, you're looking at 30, 40 times. So once we list in Bangladesh, our investors who come in with us now have the potential of improving or increasing their value by about 300%. And that is one amazing. Of So once you list here, then we'll have that credibility to list in Bangladesh. We've been in that market for 19 years already, but when we start our production facility in Bangladesh, then we can list there in the next 2-3 years.
With that, how is JAT planning to utilize the funds collected through the IPO?
So we have 4 major promises we've given our new shareholders or the whole market. One is to set up a production facility in Bangladesh. JAT was the first wood coating company, international wood coating company to be represented in Bangladesh 19 years ago. When I personally set that market up, they were using very inferior product. Today they're using some of the most technologically superior products in the world. So what we want to do is, right now we're manufacturing some from here, some from Italy, and we're shipping it out to them. So we're setting up a manufacturing concern in Bangladesh this year. We've already sent our factory machinery in. And when we do that, the whole purpose in doing that is that we'll have a setup of our own in Bangladesh, other than having a distributor in Bangladesh, and therefore be able to have a better margin in order to give the customer a better price and increase our market share even greater. So that's our first thing. Number 2 is to develop our research and development facility that we already have in Sri Lanka. We have a pretty good research and development facility, because for wood coatings or paints or any coating for that matter, technology is very important to be ahead of the curve, as it were. So we are setting up a state-of-the-art technology center here, or R&D center here, which no other company would have. We're setting it up close to our head office. That's the second part of it. The third is, of course, to really promote the White by JAT brand that we launched last December. White by JAT is an emulsion paint that we launched for the emulsion, as in paint for walls, interior and exterior walls, that we launched, which we would really market very heavily in the next 2-3 years. And it came with a new concept of being able to go directly to the customer through an online marketing system. And we want to put a lot of money behind that and make that a huge success maybe capturing about 5 to 10% of the decorative market as well.
Okay.
And the fourth is to expand in Africa at a later date. We are already in Africa, but expand maybe a manufacturing facility in Africa in the next 1.5 to 2 years' time. Those are the main.
Those are the highlights
Yes.
of it. So, with that, now you mentioned that the company is planning to set up manufacturing facilities in Bangladesh and in Africa. What is its present right now in those countries?
Yes, Bangladesh, again, like I mentioned, we've been there for 19 years. We have a company that is a distributor. I have a ownership in that company as well, that we set up to import our products and sell it in the market.
Okay.
But that acted only as a distributor. So this is, and when we went in 19 years ago, the Furniture Manufacturers Association I work very closely with, and today if you go to any furniture exhibition in Bangladesh or speak to any of the top manufacturers, they'll say that they are what they are today because of JAT Holdings, because of the products we've introduced, the technicians we've kept their place there in that market, the painters we've trained, and the way we've taken them out of a regular, wad finish where they had to use like a potanier, polish system of 8 coats to a 2-pack polyurethane to a UV coating system, like state of the art. Like even in Sri Lanka, we don't have factories of that nature. They've really invested in the industry, and all because of the technology transfer we made. So in Africa, we went in 2 years ago and set up some distributors there. Due to COVID, we've not been able to expand on that, but now we've hired an excellent export director based in the UK who will expand in the African market.
That sounds like a plan for JAT Holdings. So post this IPO, what is the progress of all these activities that you mentioned?
We've already acquired the land for the R&D center.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we went ahead and acquired that this week actually.
Oh, okay.
We're having some discussions with the architects today. We'll have this center up and running in the next 4 or 5 months. As far as the factory in Bangladesh is concerned, we've shipped the machinery already. We have an office in Dubai, a company called JAT DMCs in Dubai that has a foreign fund set there. So we fund the Bangladesh operation from there because, as you know, from Sri Lanka you can't send money out of the country. And that factory is also being set up as we speak. So the production facility in Bangladesh will be set up next month. In August, the R&D facility will be set up in the next 4 or 5 months maximum. So our promises to the general public will be much faster than they expected, because like I said earlier, it was not like we were waiting for the IPO to go ahead with these plans. They'd already put the plans into motion.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly why JAT is known as one of the fast-growing conglomerates in Sri Lanka. So with that, I would also like to ask now, let's talk about the other brands that are associated under JAT. Would you like to mention?
Yeah, one of the top brands that we push is SEA, S-E-A it's spelled, but it goes as SEA. Bauformat is a German brand of kitchens. I would like to think we supply 80% of all high-rise buildings, their kitchens. So whether it be the Altair, whether it be the ITC, whether it be the Ritz-Carlton, whether it be Luna Towers, all our own projects, we have a real estate arm as well. All the kitchens, vanities, wardrobes are supplied through us. We represent a company called Kanoff Ceiling Systems. One brand of theirs is Armstrong Ceilings, which is the biggest ceiling company and wall cladding company in the world. We've done projects like the Defence Headquarters, which was one of the biggest ceiling projects in Sri Lanka with our product. We have Brushmaster and Harris. So Brushmaster and Harris are both brushers and roller brands that we manufacture locally. Harris was an English brand of rollers we manufacture it here. So we are number one in the brush industry, and so on. We have numerous brands like that which are top of the range. So JAT is known for selling great brands of great quality, backed with super service.
Yeah.
You know, the advantage in coming to JAT, I tell my customers all the time, is you'll always have somebody to come and supply you goods at 10% cheaper than we can. But you know, you give an order, you got to chase behind these guys for months on end. Sometimes you don't even get your advance back.
Yeah.
We are a company who can see that the project is not only done, but done to your satisfaction, with a guarantee, with the least amount of hassle, you know, to the customer.
I think just like I mentioned before, there's no two thoughts of calling JAT a fast-growing company in Sri Lanka. I think y'all are not just known for the brands, but also for the services that are provided. I think today's conversation showed everything out. And I think as people who are watching this conversation, I'm sure you gathered a lot about JAT. And definitely the main point was to talk about their achievement, most recent achievement of being oversubscribed at the IPO. With that, we have come to the end of today's session. I would like to thank Mr. Ilian Gunawardana. Thank you so much for joining with us and sharing your thoughts and insights at this program. And once again, congratulations, and we would like to wish you all the very best for all of these plans to work.
Thank you, Ashit. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is all mine. With that, thank you all for watching this program today. Other Derana BIZ 24, we would like to meet you again with another episode.